I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Boy, all that like Kenny. Still got crack, they fiendin'. Flow still hot like Phoenix. Shine so bright, I'm gleaming. This off top, I'm tweaking. Fresh out the rat like Neiman. And I'm still tryna fight my demons. Cause we all gotta act like Tina. That's why I gotta ride with the Nina. Outside, it's a war going on. Maybe put my hands on my head like the Macarena. They want you walking on board like Kina. And give an F to you like John Cena. Putting blood on the brand new Beamer. Tryna earn they stripes like Adidas. You get cold when you ride with the heater. It'll turn you to a dog like a Keeta. And expose to a cat like a cheetah. They smoke my partner like reefer. Dímelo porque yo no entiendo. Mi gente must really need Jesus. They shed real blood. I never seen the crypt and I believe it. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Y'all just talk, don't live it. And just took that route, that seen it. I'm so outspoken like Reason. Jimmy Neutron, boy, young G's. And I'm a self-made man out of Sweden. And it's still off top, I'm tweaking. But I still gotta fight my demons. I ain't no good, I'm evil. I ain't been clean since Eden. It's a war.
What's going on, guys? Welcome into the WAG show. This is episode 32. It is Tuesday, March 28th. I'm your host, Ben Hasso. We are here to talk about today's best bets. We have baseball coming up this week on Thursday, which I'm excited for. I like NBA, but baseball's actually, I don't want to say my favorite, but baseball is kind of like what I started out providing content for and stuff. So it kind of comes a little bit more naturally to me. We've obviously been doing pretty well betting on basketball, and I mean, I've still provided NBA content for the last 4 to 5 years, but baseball is actually what I started out on. So I do enjoy baseball, so I'm excited for that to be back. We'll be talking about that on the stream Thursday once opening day gets here. We have a decent little NBA slate tonight. We do have a little college basketball too. We have the NIT going on tonight. I think I have one bet that I like that I'm going to put in. Nothing crazy, but there was one team that I think there's some value on, so I'm going to be betting a little NIT tonight. And I have, I'll say I have 3 NBA plays that I like tonight for props. Last night we went 2-1. We had the over Jonas Valanciunas points plus rebounds. That went over. He had 20 rebounds last night. Really good game for Joe Val. We had the over 17.5 points for Bobby Portis. I said I thought he was going to score 20 plus last night. He did. But then our loss was Eubanks over 17.5 points plus rebounds. He finished with 15, and he checked out in the third quarter and never came back in the game because the blowout was so big. So I actually think, like, had he played his normal minutes, like that was kind of contingent. That play, like I said, was contingent on him getting 30 minutes. I think if he would have got 30 minutes, he definitely would have went over that number because he finished with 15, and I think he only played 23, 24 minutes. So that was a little bit unlucky, but 2-1, won't complain about that. I have 3 plays I like for tonight. We're going to look at the prop predictor a little bit as well. So if you guys have any this will probably be a quicker stream today. So if you guys have any props you'd like to talk about, post them in the chat. As far as the NIT goes, I like North Texas tonight. So this is the semifinals, I think, for the NIT. We have Wisconsin versus North Texas. We have Utah Valley versus UAB. Utah Valley's been an absolute wagon. We've been riding them. They won their first 2 games as an underdog, and then they were at home against, I think, Oklahoma State maybe in their last game, and they beat them as well. No, Cincinnati. Utah Valley played Cincinnati, I think. So, yeah, Utah Valley kind of a wagon. So I don't really want to mess with that game. I think UAB is the better team, but Utah Valley's been sneaky. I don't know. I don't really want to mess with that. Plus the line's up to 4.5, I think. UAB minus 4.5. So I don't really want to mess with that. But I like North Texas tonight. They're minus 1.5. You can bet their money line as well. It's like minus 125, I think, the last time I looked. North Texas, Wisconsin play very similarly. They play slow. They like to defend. Spike, what's up? They like to defend. They grind games out. I've been fading this Wisconsin team like all season. I don't like them. I don't like their backcourt. Like Chucky Hepburn, I think is very overrated. I know he had that big game a couple games ago. He actually scored like 27 points, which is like, that's probably the best game Chucky Hepburn's ever played in his life. But I just don't like this Wisconsin team, and I like the North Texas team. I think that they've looked really good in this tournament. I think they're a good bit higher on KenPom as well. Like if you broke it down that way, in terms of like the overall rankings. But North Texas's defense is another level. Like potentially like best defense in the country level. Like I don't know if Wisconsin. It's going to be a close game just because. I mean, look at the total on this game, 114.5. That's insane. That's insanely low. Like it's going to be low scoring, grinded out, but I like North Texas. So you can take the 1.5 or the money line, either one. I think they'll probably win by 3 or 4 points, maybe if it's close. But that's my college play for tonight. North Texas, Mean Green over Wisconsin. And I don't know. I'm just waiting for the Final Four this weekend. I'm trying to decide what I should do hedging wise. So if you guys are in the Discord, I gave out obviously UConn as a champion pick prior to the tournament starting. But I think it would pay out in total. In total, if UConn wins the title, it's going to pay me out around $2,300. So I'm trying to figure out what to do hedging wise with Miami. It's a lot easier to hedge if they win this week and go to the championship game because it's just one game. Like it's either they win or they lose. So that's a little bit easier to hedge. It's more complicated when then you have to get into like if they lose this game, who wins the title. So I've been trying to work through it today, but I'll definitely put some on Miami just to win this game. But I've been trying to decide how much for like a hedge. And then if you guys are college fans in the chat, who do you guys like between SDSU and FAU? I think that's a very close game. I think I lean SDSU, but man, FAU has some dogs. I don't know. I think that's going to be a really interesting game. But I think I would slightly lean San Diego State. But I'm going to have to bet Miami because of this, because of my UConn ticket. I'm going to have to bet some money on Miami. So I'm not going to really be betting that game, I don't think. So my only college play this weekend will probably be from the other side, the FAU SDSU game. But I'm trying to decide who I like. I think San Diego State has my lean right now, but I can change my mind by the time we get to the weekend. San Diego State, yeah, that's the way I'm leaning too. It's going to be close, though. I don't know. Both those teams are really scrappy. Florida Atlantic is good. People were like these Cinderella runs. I mean, they are because of their seeding, but a lot of these teams were underseeded. Like UConn should have never been a 4 seed. Even coming into the tournament, they were 6th, 7th highest in odds to win. Like they were never really a 4 seed. FAU was never a 9 seed. They should have been at least a 4 or 5, I think. I mean, they won 32, 33 games. Just stupid to have them as a 9. San Diego State, I guess I understand them being what they were, but I could have seen them sneaking up, getting a 3 maybe. I don't know. But these teams were all underseeded. So, Florida Atlantic is a Cinderella run because they're a 9 seed, but really they're not just because they're so much better than a 9 seed. I don't know. I don't understand why they were seeded there. Like, if you watch them all season, I think it was, like, not surprising that they're actually not terrible. So that's my thoughts on that. But as far as NBA tonight, I'll pull up the predictor here. Like I said, this is going to be a quicker stream, but I do have 3 plays. Spike, if you're in the chat still, what play do you like tonight? What's your favorite prop tonight? Also, if you guys play DFS, Daily Fantasy Sports, obviously this is a betting show, which is the point of it. But if you guys have ever dabbled in Daily Fantasy Sports, we have MLB starting Thursday. MLB DFS is really big for us here at DFS Karma. That's basically the sport that birthed like the company. and it comes back on Thursday with opening day. You can sign up for a season pass. The season pass also gets you access to the prop picks. So the premium, you don't get the predictor, but you would get access to Spike's props, my props that we post. But you can sign up for the season pass, $100 off if you use code MLB is back, all caps, at dfskarma.com if you sign up for the MLB season pass. So if you guys like DFS, I would give that a look. We've had 3 to 4 really, really solid baseball seasons in a row when it comes to DFS. So if you guys want a little switch up from the props and want to check that out, go give that a look. But obviously, we'll still be doing plenty of props. We'll have the prop predictor. We'll be doing the show every single day for props and all that stuff. Spike likes Dennis Smith Jr. over 7.5 assists. And he also likes Van Vliet over 7 assists. Okay. Anyway, so this is an interesting slate. I actually like a decent amount of these games. Like, I think Charlotte OKC is really fun. I think Orlando and Memphis is pretty fun. And I think maybe not betting wise, I don't have any bets from this game, but I think Cleveland, Atlanta's a really fun game. Cleveland has kind of said like they really want to push for the 3rd seed. So I could see them, they're 1.5 point underdogs here. I could see them winning, but I think it'll be a close game. I think that's like an actually good game to watch. And obviously, Miami-Toronto, that's not a bad game either. But there's actually I didn't really like the games yesterday. There's a lot of fun games tonight, though. So I like this slate a little bit more than yesterday. Last year we had a takedown in opening day. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. I've had a couple like $10,000 or more wins in baseball DFS the past few seasons. It's fun. It's a lot more fun to me than NBA just because you don't have to deal with like the ownership is such a huge thing in NBA. Like you can lose a slate if you don't play one guy, but baseball generally that doesn't happen because there's just so much randomness that goes on. So I prefer that. But I'm gonna start off with my plays for today, and then if you guys have questions about yours, like I said, quicker stream. So drop your props in if you want to talk about them. But I'm gonna go ahead and give out my 3 picks for tonight, starting with a fantasy points prop over on Prize Picks. Nick Richards, this is our boy. We've bet on him 3, 4, 5 times for the last 2 weeks. We're going back to him tonight against Oklahoma City. Nick Richards over 28.5 fantasy points on Prize Picks. Love this. We still have Williams out. Charlotte very, very banged up, which is why they're 9-point dogs to OKC here. But this should be a pretty decent game. I mean, 227 over under isn't terrible. Oklahoma City has struggled with big men. Richards, we've seen he got that contract extension. He's played really, really well in the absence of Williams. He's been playing 30-plus minutes. We should see 30-plus minutes from him again tonight. And like I said, we have him at almost 33 fantasy points. I think he definitely goes for 30-plus fantasy points tonight. So Nick Richards over 28.5 fantasy points is my number 1 play for tonight. Number 2 play, we're going to stick with fantasy points, but you could do like a PRAs if you wanted. You can do PRAs for Richards too if you can't, like if you're on a book and you can't bet fantasy points. So same can be said for this, but we're going with Jaren Jackson over 42.5 fantasy points. High number, but without John Morant in the lineup, he is actually averaging close to 50 fantasy points per game. He's at home, which is big because we know at home they like to add on an extra block or two to his box score, which really comes in handy when you're betting on fantasy points. It's a good matchup against Orlando. I think this game should be close. 7-point spread. It would not be shocked. It would not be shocking to me if this game comes down to the wire in the 4th quarter. And we've seen Jackson just posting some monster games without Ja. And we kind of talked about that when it first happened, when Ja first left the team prior to him coming back. But we were kind of talking about how Jackson actually gets a pretty decent usage rate increase, and most people, their first instinct is to go to Tyus Jones or Desmond Bain, but Jackson actually gets a really big boost without Morant on the floor. So Jaren Jackson over 42.5 fantasy points. That is my 2nd play. Really like that. I think he's gonna have a big game. You can also, I think the predictor likes his points. So maybe instead of PRAs, if you can't bet the fantasy points, he's at 21.5. Just points. We have him over 23, almost 24. So you could just bet the points prop if you can't get the fantasy points for Jaren Jackson. Someone in chat said they like Jaren Jackson. Perfect. Good spot for him. I think he's going to go off tonight. I really do. That actually might be my favorite play, even more so than Richards. I feel pretty strong about Jaren Jackson tonight. So hopefully he has a good game. Hopefully he stays out of foul trouble, which is the only issue that ever comes with playing any Jaren Jackson props. And yeah, so my third play, I've kind of been going back and forth on this one. Yeah, I've been going back and forth on this. I've been trying to decide between two different Thunder players. If you can get Lou Dort at 15.5 points, I think I would strongly consider that. I see him at, it was at 15.5 before I did the stream. I see it at 16.5 on FanDuel Sportsbook. So if Prize Picks or if DraftKings Sportsbook or any of your other books are lagging behind and they still have him at 15.5, I would be fine with that. Over on Lou Dort, 15.5 points. If you can't get that number, if you can get Jalen Williams at 30.5 PRAs, I would be fine with the over on that. That's a high number, but I mean, we've been playing a lot of Jalen Williams recently. He's been super aggressive. Without SGA on the floor, he actually averages pretty close to that number. And there's upside for him to go over. So those numbers are moving, it seems like, pretty quickly, because I just looked at these like 25 minutes ago, and I've seen that they're moving. But if you can get Jalen Williams at 30.5 PRAs, I'm fine with that. Prize Picks has Dort at 15.5. Perfect. All right, so Lou Dort over 15.5 points on Prize Picks. That will be my official third play for the stream. But I also like Jalen Williams PRAs if you can get it at 30.5. But I see it got bumped. Okay, it's 30.5 on FanDuel just now. It was at 31.5. It just moved back to 30. So 30.5 PRAs for Jalen Williams on FanDuel is fine. Lou Dort, 15.5 points on Prize Picks is fine. So that's my three plays for today. Someone in chat said they like Jalen Williams. I mean, what can we say about this? I don't think he has a chance to win Rookie of the Year, but he definitely worked himself into that conversation. I mean, he's been absolutely balling. Dennis Smith Jr. points. Let me see what we have him at here. Fantasy points or real points? Let me pull this up. Real points, we have him under. This has him at 13.5. I'm seeing him at 14.5 on FanDuel. That's a little high for me. So I think I would stick with the assists that Spike was talking about there. Jason Tatum fantasy points. High number for Tatum. I'm not sure if we'll have him over that. Yeah, we have him under, but it's right at the number. 47.5 is his line. We have him at 47. So that's kind of the situation that we talked about, where if you feel pretty strongly about him going over, just because we have him slightly under does not mean you have to take the under. It's just whenever a player's number gets that high at 47.5, it's going to be tough for us to have him graded as over, just because it's such a high number. But if you really like the spot, I think it's fine to take him. I mean, it's obviously a good matchup against Washington, but I guess the only thing you would worry about is the spread. But we had this discussion in Discord yesterday about not really worrying about it's too hard to predict blowouts. So I just try not to worry about it. I just play the best spots, and over time, I feel like that does work out. Joined late. What was your picks? Yeah, I gave 3 picks out for today. So started out, we have Nick Richards over 28.5 fantasy points on Prize Picks. And then we have Jaren Jackson over 42.5 fantasy points on Prize Picks. And then I like Lou Dort over 15.5 points. If you can get Jalen Williams at 30.5 PRAs, I think that's fine too. So that was kind of the third one is either of those, but Lou Dort 15.5 I think looks a little bit better just because it's a little bit lower number. I'm signing up tonight. Good. Jump in. betkarma.com, you can sign up, obviously, for this predictor that we show off every single day. You get access to the premium Discord channels. You get access to the Spikes picks, my picks. You can download the app, and then you'll get access to this predictor right on your app. So you don't even have to be at your computer. There's a link to the Discord on the app if you download it. And you should be downloading the app anyways, because you can use all the free tools like the live trends tool, top props, all that stuff that's free. You can get that on the app. Just download the BetKarma app in the App Store. But that about does it for me today, guys. Tomorrow, we'll try to talk about some MLB, maybe some futures or stuff tomorrow, with opening day starting Thursday. There's a big NBA slate tomorrow, so we'll have plenty of props to talk about. But good luck with your bets tonight, guys. If you have any other questions, you can find me in the Discord tonight. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday at 3 p.m.